and look at the relaxed volunteers, victims that we have on stage.
Thank you.
They were so delighted to be asked to join this session, they ran to it, and it's the main reason that they came. So some of you will know who we have, but I will ask them just to introduce each other, or themselves, not each other. This is not good. I have to be able to see you. So we have Cashio from Khimjis, we have Jan from Omnia, and we have Marian from etravel. Those of you who have been in the organization a long time will know that these are some of the experienced people in the organization. But they all have a story to tell about, what we're talking about today. But maybe just say what role you have in the company and what sort of your company does, just so we get into it a little bit. So, Cashio, since you're sitting furthest away, I'll ask you to start.
Thank you, John. Hi. From Khimjis Group, Oman. We are based in Muscat. I mean, the parent company is based in Muscat, but of course we have offices in all over GCC, in Dubai, and also Saudi Arabia. We are going to start in 2026. Is it audible? Okay. We take care of the corporate travel and also the leisure travel business. And we also onset an online platform called the tripsandstay.com, which is global travel platform. It's a marketplace. So I think the subject what we are going to discuss over here today, it matters a lot for us. And we cater for the couple of airline GSA as well in Oman, including Air France, KLM, and a couple of other Air India from India, so that's about us. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks and welcome. Just for the back, Anke, can we reset the clock at 35, please? Thank you. Sorry, just an internal domestic little thing. Jan.
So I'm the general manager of Omnia Travel, which is an agency chain in Belgium. We do have 4 shops working with about 100 people, mainly in corporate travel. 70% is corporate travel. We do some groups and incentives, and we have, let's say, 10% in leisure travel. So we try to have the whole range of travel products in-house.
Okay, and you, it's your, you run it, or it's your company, or?
No, the company is owned by the major bank in Belgium, KBC, and I'm the general manager.
Okay, that was the reason I asked that question, as you know. And Marian, my old friend, what can you tell us about
Thank you, John. I think you know me for many, many years.
Sure.
But I will say something new for you as well.
Okay.
So, General, my name is Marian. I am the Senior Vice President of etravel. Our company is in Poland. We are the largest travel management company in Poland. 95% of our business is B2B. We have also office in Czech Republic. So, in total, we are quite large. And also, why I'm sitting here now, because the technology plays a very big role in our company. So then we have developed our own tool dedicated for the customers. It's not just an online booking tool, but there's quite more complex. And also, together, we are over 300 employees in the 5 locations in Poland and 2 locations in Czech Republic. And then I try to answer your questions and share my experience, what's going on about this cybersecurity and the GDPR, because, maybe this topic is not so sexy to see how many participants are here, but this topic started to be very, very important, at least in our B2B business.
Well, we have seen, both in aviation and outside aviation, how, cybersecurity is a key, and how it can smash companies to smithereens if they are not alert to what happens. And you may think, who wants to hit a little, not so little in most cases, but a travel agency? Why would they want to do that? But of course, we live in a wider circle of companies. You deal a lot in also corporate travel, so you deal a lot with other companies' data as well. And if your systems, there was a question earlier about coming and your internet broke down, what would you do? And, and you come to the office next morning and everything has been hacked and you've been asked to pay, a billion cryptocurrencies in order to get them up and running again. And what do you do? And we know the cost. And we've seen airlines being hit, we've seen airports being hit, we've seen retail business being hit, time after time. So it is important. And, sometimes we only wake up to the fact that something is important the day after it happens. We're trying to wake up to it before it happens. So let's just start generally what sort of precautions you feel that you've taken already, or what you started to think about in your business in terms of protecting your business and your customers' businesses. So I don't know who wants to go. Maybe we'll start with you, Marian.
Okay. So, John mentioned that who will be attacking travel agencies. So what do they have interesting for hackers or someone? I don't agree. This is really, we collect really very sensitive data from very big companies what we cooperate with. So it means that our data, ourselves as etravel, could be not so interesting, but our customers' data, it is very interesting for many different, let's say, hackers or other companies. So we had twice a hacker attack in our company. Thanks God, nothing happened. Once they bypassed our firewall, but the small piece of data was hacked. Mostly what for they are looking for, that was credit card number of our customers. However, we are, according to the regulation, we cannot keep it, so they could not find anything. So this is, but however, I think that the data of our customers is very important. It could be very interesting for hackers.
When you say you cannot keep the credit card numbers, do you not have master accounts or for some of the companies where you have their credit cards? Or?
The other regulations, so we cannot store credit card numbers. It's only we can use it for the transaction, and then we have to, even we cannot write it. This is a very strict regulation. Even at the right hand, we cannot put it on the paper, we cannot put it in the computer. So immediately when we use it, then we have to release, extract.
Just so I know it, so when you take a new booking from somebody you've taken 20 bookings from already, you ask them for the credit card?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, they are stored, but not in us, in GDS.
Okay.
In GDS profile.
Okay, so this is through the GDSs.
So, but for what is in GDS, we are not responsible for.
Okay, and there's a wall there, but at the end of the day, you're responsible to your customers.
Of course.
Even for what's in the GDS. So I wonder, Jan, if you ever talked to the GDSs about this, that, what is in the GDS, or have they come to you and said, you have access to so many things in the GDS, how do you make sure that it doesn't cross through over to you and then to the wrong hands?
There is a resolution from IATA and also from the credit cards, PCI protection. So the GDSs can show only, I think, the last 3 figures of a credit card. The others are blocked. Even our staff cannot see what the numbers are. So it's really protected because there was too much misuse of credit cards. So that part is well protected.
Okay, I just want to check. Can we hear Jan in the back also? Can we? Yeah. Okay. Good. Everything good. Good. So Jan, in your business, what precautions have you had to take to do these protections?
So our shareholder is a bank in Belgium, and then data is really important for reputation for the bank. So the level of security that the bank is asking is also partly coming to us. So I think within our industry we are very well protected. We do have a data processing officer, someone at least 50% of his time is controlling all the data to be sure that there are no leakage, that we have the contacts with the clients, and more clients are asking for special contracts. We have regular audits from external audit companies. We have audits from KBC, our shareholder. So data it costs a lot of money, but it is really important to be sure and to have the reputation to our clients that their data are safe in our systems.
Okay. You operate a slightly different type of business and in a different region as well.
True.
So
Very
what's
true.
the sort of differences that you have?
We actually started very late when it comes to the GCC countries when data protection. But for the last couple of years, I should say for the last 2 years precisely, we should see a drastic change in the approach, especially with the country-wise. We used to follow GDPR earlier, and we used to get supported with all the GDS on the GDPR part, and we used to sign the contract with GDS on the GDPR part. But going forward, I think we need to go for the country-wise data protection law. That is which is getting implemented at the moment. So Saudi is the leader for it. In 2024, they have already done that with data protection law. So all the agents from this particular region already trying to do the best for it. Oman will follow, but UAE, Dubai, or UAE is the one which is going a bit slow at the moment. But going forward, I think in next 1 year, we'll have all the GCC Gulf countries which is going to get it done with the data protection law, number one. Number two, on the other hand, a drastic change again in the business approach, we could see it, like OTAs. And even though tier 1 and tier 2 agents are getting into their own e-commerce platform to take care of the customer data, customer booking, and even fulfillment of all the facilities. So this is where we exactly bringing this particular thing, which is called the data protection law, to make sure that everything is secured. And I think a lot of inputs, a lot of discussion happening with the consultancies. Even we have brought across a consultant to be with us in the office to make sure that we don't breach or we don't go for any kind of, in these areas. That's what's happening with us.
Okay. So I'm interested also in how you sort of both train your staff and what the demands from the clients have been to you. So, so is this something that you see your clients asking you for, and how do you train your staff?
Yeah, I think all the new tenders which is coming across at the moment from the public sector or from the government-related account, they are insisting on the data protection law, which is quite important. So there is a demand, and it's a must thing that we are taking care of it while we submit the RFP with the tender submission. So training, internal audit, system security, all these things are in place to make sure that at least we are taking care of this requirement of the client.
Okay.
Especially from the government side, there is a lot of requirement.
Sure. And Jan, you deal mainly with corporate clients. Is it part of their RFPs now, the clients, and then is it an important part of what they ask you to prove that you have the systems that can protect?
Since a couple of years, in every RFP, it is mentioned we have to sign a separate contract on the data protection. You cannot have a big client without signing that kind of contract. So and what we see is that all those companies asking to sign the contract, and the whole time they are client with us, they don't come back. So it's tick the box, they have the contract, and then they are secured, but there's no really a follow-up by the companies to see after a couple of years if it's still up to date. But it's fine, when you start a contract, we have always to sign first contract.
So they're basically covering their back by saying, you sign and then it's over to you. And But I guess all our relationships are based on trust with our clients, so they trust you. What about yourself, Marian?
What happened with the data GDPR system? So mostly we were forced by European Union some years ago. They implemented, European Union countries, Poland is a European Union member, we were obliged to implement these solutions. This is one. The second, of course, now we don't sign any contract without the clauses about data protection, about the GDPR. In our company, we have an inspector of GDPR. In every contract we are going to sign is going to him, and then he's preparing the clauses, because some corporates, some of our customers or prospect customers, they are going to sign the contract with us, they send us their proposals. So then, of course, there is a discussion who is administrator, who is a provider, and so and so. So this is sometimes it takes a longer discussion about this than about commercials. But this is very important because the company want to be safe, and we want to be safe as well. Also, when we sign the contract, for example, with suppliers, with someone, also we send them our proposal of the data protection. Just how we save ourselves also, we succeeded this year, at the beginning of this year, to be certified with the ISO 27001. Actually, we are the only one TMC in Poland has such a certification, because we saw in some RFPs there is the requirement, if you want to enter in this RFP to send the offer, you should be certified 27001. We are also certified ISO 9001. However, so with me, this is our also competitive advantage against to the market. However, I can say this is a very sensitive issue, very expensive. It costs quite a lot of money. So to get the ISO 27001, it took us around 8 months. We had to outsource some advisors to help us to do it. So instead, we pay cash. Also, we had to sacrifice, let's say, many manpower days in our company. Also, this is certification is only the first step. Then we have to maintenance. So we have to, according to the rules, we had to establish a special ISO 27001 committee. They work, they report every month, and so and so. However, we decided to invest in this project, first from the security point of view, and the second, to be, let's say, more competitive on the market. Not only in Poland, but also out of Poland.
Sure. I mean, congratulations on achieving this. I know from personal experience how difficult this is, and it's ongoing. It's not so, you did say one thing that I just noticed. You said we paid in cash.
So we pay in cash. It means certification is a cost, and advisors are the cost. Cash, it means bank transfer, of course.
Okay. I thought we were now getting into the money laundering aspects,
No.
which we may touch upon as well. Who knows? I mean, if you have any customers coming in only paying you cash, but that's maybe a different session for a different day.
According to security, cash, it's sensitive.
Okay.
I would like to add something to it, John. Even ISO 27001 is one, then PCI DSS equally expensive. Again, now after this, we need to go with the data protection law of the country. Again, we are going to spend something similar. So it's really an expensive affair that it's when we complete all these formalities to make sure that we are certified. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Anything from our distinguished audience? Yes. I'll repeat the questions, by the way, if you can't hear them.
Lucky because we are coming from Congress Travel as a non-European company. It took us 18 months to be certified for ISO 27001. So you're lucky to pass it just for 9. And I know how hard it is. In terms of data protection, yes, it's very clear that we must all have it if we want to work with high-profile clients, and it's not questionable at all. But in terms of security reasons, some of our clients are actually imposing us to have security measures implemented not for data storage, but for data transfer. So do you have any specific measures for encrypting the files, not just keeping them, but just encrypting them? Do you have any specific coordinator, appointed one coordinator, or a person who is just taking care of this encryption of data? That is the one question. The second is, do you have any separate place for data disaster storage? It is in your country, outside of the country, under the ground, or in the cloud. How do you solve this problem?
So encryption of data is...
Okay, did everybody hear the question or not? Could you hear it? in the back?
And can I
No.
answer?
So it's two parts about encryption of data and about storage of data. That's, in short, the question.
And transfer.
Yeah, encryption of data is quite important thing. We need to have a clear policy on this part, and a group level for us, from our group side itself, we take care of the complete process and there is an audit check also happens on this. So the number one. Number two, till date we used to have the freedom of the data storage out of country, but going forward we don't know what's going to be the new rule of the country, where they may insist, for example, insurance side, entire insurance data, it has to be done it in Oman itself. So I don't know whether they're going to do the same implementation when it comes to the Oman data protection law, whether they're going to do the same thing for the travel as well. So if that's the case, then we need to have a look at what kind of a facility we can get it done from Oman itself. But the encryption of data is very, very important, as you said, and we have to, that is even data transfer, because we put it across to certain details to our suppliers. So what kind of a details and what kind of a contractual obligation that supplier is having with us, that is, we need to draw a line for all these things, very, very important, by document, because we don't know from where we are going to get the hit. Yeah, so that's good.
Jan, do you have
We have some service level agreements because all the data are stored in the cloud. And we do have clients asking that the data are in a cloud in Europe and not in the US. And that's a very common question, so we need to prove that. And with the SLAs, we are sure that there is backup with the cloud application. So if there is an attack, and that we are sure that we have the data separately, that we can take them back.
Yeah? Anyone else?
I can add one. Yeah. Also, I can add that, of course, the encryption is very, very important. And under our experience, we have many corporations. What we are working with, they check us, they make a test, or sometimes they ask us to make a test and send them to make a test for the external neutral companies. There are such companies like this, and then to send them this test, the results of this test, if it proves that everything is safe. And it started particularly last 1.5 years, very common that many, particularly banks or financial institutions we work with, they ask us about such a result. Again, when I'm talking about money, such information, of course, to provide it costs us. But in many cases, we send the invoice to the corporates, just they have to pay for this.
Okay. In connection with that, how about, do you actually have a disaster plan in place? So that if you come in one morning and you have, is there a plan of how you can move things and restore and recover? So do you have a disaster plan?
Yes, this is a continuity plan. Sometimes we have in our contracts. This is why, for example, in our company, we have actually etravel group. With etravel group, there are 3 companies included. So we keep them not to merge, because as a backup. So if something happened with, for example, etravel, what is the main mother company of this, but if anything happened, then have, let's say, spare or backup companies that we can make a continuity plan. Also, why we have operational offices not only in Warsaw, but we have operational offices in 3 cities in Poland. So if anything happened with internet in Warsaw, then we can do it with another operational office.
Have you been asked to provide?
Yes. Sometimes they ask us to provide in written. So just, and as a commitment, as a part of the contract.
Okay. What about you, Jan? Do you have a disaster plan?
We had quite an interesting experience last year. It was coming from the bank, and they made a game. They came in, say, there's a hacking on your systems. How do you react? And then we say, we will not pay, and things like that. And I say, okay, second phase is they threat to give information to the press. How will you react? And then third phase is they put data on the internet. And so in 5, 6 different stages, they were testing how we were reacting, so that, and we are aware, ICT is aware, what your staff is telling, and then what kind of measures do you take if it's happening. Because when it's happened, you don't have time to improvise. You need to have a standard procedure. So it's very important to think in front of it. It can happen everyone. Even if you are well protected, you need to have a plan B. You need to know how you will react if that's happened to your company.
I mean, like everything, we do these things hoping it will never happen, but we have to do it. Cashio, do you have a backup disaster?
Yes, we do follow this strictly on that part. Also, with the certain contracts, we need to do the vulnerability test to get the things cleared, and that's the way we follow certain procedures. So, I mean, it's a group level IT process and procedures which we need to do strictly, and that's what we, for all our business lines, business streams.
Okay. Jan, you are in Belgium, European Union headquartered there, and you've been very active also on your national association of travelers, and you're also in the leadership of the LCC, you know, super advisor, I can't remember what you called, but advisory or supervisory board?
Advisory board.
Advisory board, there you go. So how, you know, do you feel that this is something that the industry is really working together on? One of you mentioned suppliers that you know, of course, you're giving data. You know, when you book a hotel room, you pass on a credit card number to the hotel. Are you sure that they are protected? Are you asking them? But as an organization and as an association in Belgium, and I'm happy to hear from the 2 others as well, and within the LCC group, is it something that you've taken up and that you feel is addressed well enough?
I think it's not enough, but the fact that this session is taking place now shows that how important the subject is. I think that a lot of companies are not aware how important that data is and what the danger is for your reputation and for your clients if this is going wrong. We need to invest, and everyone in our industry needs to invest more time and more money to be sure that the data we receive from clients are in good hands and that we can protect them. And I think in the industry we need to do more than we do now.
Okay. Do you work, I mean, Marian, you also, you know the whole industry in Poland and Eastern Europe. Is there a push to do something together, or do you each have to do your own thing?
If you are talking to put together within a Lufthansa City Center members, or...
that and the industry in Poland or in certain countries?
Yes, but the industry in Poland, we can, if we are talking to commercial, normal business, we have to be responsible alone towards our customers. I cannot take a responsibility for others to other customers. So even as a Lufthansa City Center, LCO Poland, we do it separately. So this is one, because it's too, let's say, too risky and too sensitive topic to share it even between ourselves. So this is at least what we can do. We can advise which direction to go. In this area, we are cooperating, of course, but also we try to do it with our customers or our suppliers. So let's sit together and what kind of, let's say, protection you require from us, how to do it. They ask us, what are the process? Please, from the first booking to the last payment, what is the process? Very detailed. They accept it or not. Also, what is important for us, we even sometimes push them, please accept this process. Then we have in written that they allows us to use this process towards them. So, but this is quite complicated, but it's to protect ourselves. We decided to use it, to do it.
Yeah, I mean, as you started by saying, this is not the most sexy thing in the world, but essential, and then you have that everybody has to respect that, both the supplier and the customers. What about insurance? Cashio, is that something you've taken out? Is there cyber insurance?
We are in the process at the moment, especially for the Gulf market. When you go for the cyber insurance, it's a bit of cost of expensive affair. So it's not that kind of, we need to make sure that what are the things getting covered. So, I mean, there are a lot of areas where we need to make sure that it is included or it's covered, and we are paying for the right price. So it is getting it done. But before getting into the insurance, I just wanted to communicate on one thing. Even to our partners or to the other fellow travel partners or travel agents, we try to communicate certain best practices, what we try to do it in our office, because we are as a wholesaler in the market, we are as a B2B partner in the market. The access control to the systems, the two-factor authentication, those kind of matters we try to implement. So one is insurance, definitely can take care of it. And again, as I said, it's not really easy for everybody to afford the cost of insurance, because when it comes to the travel side, the insurance cost is very, very high. So for us, before doing that, we also try to see that what are the best practices which we can communicate to the other partners to make sure to protect the system, because we also sometimes badly get affected through through our partner system to our system. So those kind of fraudulent bookings which happens. So try to avoid that. So this kind of regular communication, what has to be done, access control, the password control, and those kind of things on a regular basis we put across as a communication to our fellow partners in the market.
So not everybody uses your birthday as their password. So, yeah, and what about you and insurance? I mean, it must be so difficult to work out what should be in this insurance, how you cover for everything.
We invest a lot in protection, but we don't spend money in insurance, because when you need insurance, it's too late. So we try to put a certain number of measures in place to avoid that one day we will need that insurance. So for the time being, we don't take that insurance.
Okay. What about you, Marian?
Yeah, we have insurance, but this is also not easy to get it. Also, the insurance companies, they come with some, let's say, requirement from our side, and what would be covered, what would be not covered. So this is quite complicated, and of course, the cost of this insurance is not so low. Of course, depends on the level. The level. Of course, we would be insured, but yes, from this point of view, we have it. However, the same what Jan mentioned, so we try to implement measures such to be safe from our side, to be safe from our, let's say, internal processes.
As you worked out by now, Marian does not like to spend money. Not that most people do, but he is a careful man. But is there anyone in the room that has insurance, cyber insurance? Yes, two of you? Okay. So it's something that maybe you should look at. We only have a couple of minutes left, so maybe a last word of advice. What's the first thing everybody in the room should go home and do in terms of this area? We've got lots of areas we should go home and do after this conference, but what's the first thing you would say, don't forget to do this?
I think the training of our colleagues or our team members is quite important. I think, make them understand what are the things to be taken care of. And also the best practices which I just mentioned, how we can strictly implement that, and also an audit from the IT team or maybe from the external party on a regular basis, because we are moving into that direction now. Almost all the entire business is moving into an e-commerce platform or a digital platform, and it's quite important that we need to have a strict control on this data protection or maybe the cybersecurity. Because as I told you, the covering of insurance, may not be that kind of an easy thing for a business at the moment, because the way we run the travel business, it's not easy to pay so much amount to the insurance side. So these are the few things which I can, give an
Very valuable. Yeah.
Also from my side, the weakest point is our staff. So we speak a lot about systems and protections and things like that, but the most vulnerable part is the staff who is giving passwords, who is sending different documents they can't share with others. So we have a phishing program working the whole year round. We have control on the software for emails that they cannot send a credit card number to a supplier and things like that. So training of the staff is not that expensive, but it's crucial to have everyone on board and knowing that this is very important.
Excellent. Any last word, Mike?
My message is don't ignore this subject, don't disregard this subject, because from the first point of view it seems to be not so important. However, it is very important. And internal training, what Jan mentioned, is a key as well, not only to talk to the external cooperators you cooperate with, but internally, yes. And in the end of the day, you see the big fights between hackers and IT, let's say, IT solutions. So it could touch everybody of us. So, but if it happened, it really could cost us a lot, not only money, but the reputation and everything. So don't disregard it.
It's one of those things, once it's happened, it's very difficult to recover. So listen, it nearly turned sexy. You did a great job, but it's certainly crucial. And there's a lot of things we need to do in this business. And as the technology continues to evolve, there's so much we need to also protect. And it is a trust issue we have with our clients, so we cannot ignore it. So I really appreciate Cashio, Jan, and Marian for sharing, for being honest. I'm sure they're happy to talk to you even in more detail without revealing any credit card numbers, what their arrangements are. So if you want to have advice and help, I'm sure they're happy to do so as well. So let's give them a big round of applause, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I see the others are beginning to come in, so the good news is you don't have to move. If you want to go move around the room, you're welcome. But the next session is here. We're in for a great finale, which will take place from now on over the next hour and a half. So we'll start again in 3 minutes. So don't go far, and we will be ready for the finale. Thanks very much. Thank you.